Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave. So today I'm going to be playing a game called the Dreadnaught Factor on the Intellivision. This is made by Activision, and Activision I've talked about enough times on this show. Usually it's for Atari games though, so it's not often I get to talk about Activision for the Intellivision. And that's what I actually did a video on this where I opened up a fan package that a fellow by the name of Matthew, he had a bunch of cartridges that they were kind of extras, and he asked me if I would like to have them, and I said sure, why not. And so he sent me this. He sent me Happy Trails and Slapshot, three games I don't actually have, I didn't have. And so after I did that video, one of my patrons from Patreon, Billy O, he saw the thumbnail. He saw I was holding up this game, and he was really hoping that I was going to do the video on this game alone. And so he asked, you know, could you please do a video on this one? And I thought, yeah, sure. You know, if you're a patron, I always ask of my patrons, feel free to pass me a topic, and I'll do it as a patron's choice. And so that's what he asked. So I thought, you know, originally I had this on my mind. I was going to do it much later on. But since Billy O asked for it, hey, why not? Let's do it now. So I kind of know about this game. I've seen some footage of it online. Unfortunately, I don't have a manual. I couldn't find the manual. I'm sure if I keep digging online, I could find scans of it or something. But from what I learned about it, I kind of get it. I kind of understand what's going on. So I'm going to dive into this game. And, you know, I did play it a little bit briefly. But I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing. So let's play the Dreadnaught Factor on the Intellivision. Okay, so we got Activision presents the Dreadnaught Factor. So you got options here. Select option 1 to 7, which is quite a lot of options there. I mean, usually you would think it'd be like 1 to 4, and a lot of the games that came out around this time, like the, you know, Donkey Kong and stuff like that, Zaxxon, they didn't have that many options like that. So you can tell that it must get pretty difficult if it goes from like 1 to 7. So I'm going to start with 1 just to make it easy and just so we can see how the game plays. I like how it's got that typical Intellivision screen. They didn't really deviate from that. But you do have the Activision there. And you got those little color bars up there. Looks nice. 1983. So I'm going to go with 1. So this is showing your planes here, the rest of your fighters that are going after this. I love the look here. I guess that's the Earth. I'm going to assume that's the Earth. I could be wrong. Don't have a manual, so don't know the backstory on this one. Now this is cool. I mean, the way it feels, it just moves nicely, and so you're really coming towards this ship that you have to start actually blowing apart. And it kind of like with some of the other games that have this kind of space shoot 'em up style. Not only can you shoot in front, you could also drop bombs from beneath. You could kind of see it drop there and then it kind of explodes. Weird that it happens in space like that, where you could just drop it and then they explode, but I guess that's just the way it's programmed. You could see something's exploding there. Even though you're kind of dropping it in space, you would think they would just kind of float away. But whatever, we'll just move on. So the object is to try and blow up as much of this ship as possible. Without getting blown up yourself, that is. I'm going on there. These are like the thrusters. Let's throw some bombs on that. Now this is fairly easy. I mean, there's nothing shooting back at me. So, well, there is, but very little. So, I mean, it's just really a case of your accuracy here on where to start shooting, where to start dropping the bombs. Another thing to keep in mind, too, is that the game is constantly scrolling. Whether you like it or not, it's scrolling. So you can't really stop. Your plane will always continue to go forward. It'll just be slower. So you might want to go at the slowest speed possible, just so you can kind of hit as much as you can. And some things you can't hit with your front weapon, so you have to hit with the bombs that you drop. Whoa. You see how I advanced there? I couldn't drop anymore because I've already passed the ship. Oops. So you just keep sending in the I guess your fighters until you've blown this thing apart. And when you've hit the final blow, the screen goes crazy. It's like seizure time. Not bad. But I mean, that, like I said, I like the victory too. I like the how it does that fanciness. You wouldn't expect that from a game of this date, but that's pretty impressive that they did that. Let's go into a more complicated level, shall we? Let's go, say, I don't know, 4? See how 4 is. It's nice to just speed up a little bit, but you gotta slow down before you enter the, Whoa, right away I just got blown up. And as far as I know, there's no way of running out of ammunition, so you can pretty much just rapid fire as much as you can. Try and hit the guns. They're the ones shooting at you. Some of them you can't, so... I know some people like to focus on just like, say, coming after these things first, which you have to drop the bombs onto. Of course, I just got annihilated by that one there. So you can kind of strategize. Do you want to take out the guns first? Probably the smartest thing to do. Try and take out the guns. And then you can kind of coast through the level. You want to try and do it as fast as you can. Get rid of them as fast as you can. Get them out of the way. And then go back to destroying these things. And the graphics are great. I could definitely say the graphics are great in this. You could really make out what they are. Albeit sometimes when things are blowing up, you can't always tell that they're blowing up. I mean, that you can. It turns into a big black blob. And try and stay out of the path of those beams that are just shooting at me. Try and take as much out as I can on the way out. Whoa, going too fast. Going too fast. Oh! That just came out of nowhere. Oops. Ah. Not doing too well here. And this is at level 4. Again, I'm trying to hit the guns. If I can get these things. It's too far, I couldn't hit it. There we go. There we are. We got them all. Once you get all those, it's victory. So let's just do level 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's just see what happens here. See if it is much harder than... I'm assuming it will be. Okay, there's something coming towards me there, but I'm just focusing on trying to get rid of the guns right now. Because there's a lot of shooting at me. Whoa. This is another one of those games where you can really get a sore thumb Kind of like Space Invaders. I always think of the episode of The Simpsons where Groundkeeper Willie is talking about having a crippling arthritis from Space Invaders. I think it's, who was it? Skinner or Super Nintendo Chalmers, who said that was a pretty addictive video game. Or maybe it was Chief Wiggum. Maybe it was Chief Wiggum who said it. It's a pretty addictive video game. And then Groundskeeper Willie's like, video game? Guess he thought he was actually defending the Earth from aliens. Let's see if I can complete this. I doubt it. Oh, everything's just coming at me. Whoa. That is hard. I'm just going to keep dropping bombs until I get them all. Not taking any chances here. Okay, I got one side done. See if I can get the next. Oh, it's over. I just got blown up. It just hit the area here, blew me up. Not bad though. I mean, considering that everything was shooting at me. So, yeah, that was the Dreadnaught Factor, and it's actually pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of a Star Wars type of game. And I know others have said the same idea. It's kind of like you're coming in and you're battling like those Star Destroyers or something very similar along those lines. I like the controls in this game. I like the graphics in this game. The sound effects in this game. It's a really well done game. It's exactly what I expect from Activision. Most of the Activision titles are pretty good on the older systems. And this one is no exception. I mean, even the artwork on the cartridge is pretty amazing. That being said, I kind of wish there was a little bit more to it. Like, you're really just coming in. You know, the space is kind of useless. It's just kind of like for dramatic effect, I guess. As you reach towards the starship. And, I mean, you can build a strategy in it. That's what I liked about it. You can say, I'm going to go for the guns first. I'm going to go for one side. I'm going to go for the other side. I mean, it is in that V formation. So you have to pick a side because you are continuously thrusting forward. So you cannot, it'd be very difficult to go from side to side. Maybe some people could do it if they're really quick, but you're going to get shot. I mean, those guns are coming at you. And so I felt it was just easier to just kind of try and focus on getting the guns out of the way first. And then when your next plane comes, then you can focus on your goal. And it's blowing up those. I don't know what the name of them are. I remember seeing it in the video. I trying to remember who I actually saw. I don't know if it was Arcade USA. It was one of the YouTubers I watch all the time. They did a video on it. Maybe it was No Swear Gamer. I can't remember. But it was a while ago. I watched the gameplay on it. It was after actually I knew that Matthew was going to send this to me, and I looked it up to see what it was. The game is fun, though. I mean, once you get the hang of it, I've talked to a few people, and they say they can get up to like level 3, level 4, and then that's done. They're done. And I can see that, because the guns are coming at you. They come sporadically. You never know when they're going to fire. You could be standing in front of a gun, and nothing will happen. Plus, there's those other ships that are coming after you. Now, the thing is, I could totally have seen them make this a Star Wars game if they had the licensing. Now, there is other Star Wars games. I mean, there is the Return of the Jedi, and there's Jedi Battle or whatever. There's a bunch of games from the Atari, but they're not Activision. They are, a different company that makes them. I think it's Parker Brothers that did them. But I could totally see this game being like a Star Wars, having Star Wars on it, throwing in the branding. It really did feel like I was playing a Star Wars game. There's a few other games that are like that in the Intellivision lineup, like Space Battle, where it's, the same idea, almost like Star Wars themed. So I could totally see that happening, or that could have happened in the past. I don't know what the history was, but I could totally see that that might have been on their minds. Kind of like, you know, the opposite of what happened with Dungeons and Dragons, where I believe the programmer built the game and then they decided to slap the Dungeons and Dragons logo on it and turn it into Dungeons and Dragons. But if they didn't, they would have called it something else. The game would have still been released. So, you know, take what you can from it. I would like to one day maybe try it on the other systems, because I know it is on other systems. So I don't know if it's on a. I don't think it's on the Atari 2600, but I believe it's on the Atari home computer. And what else was it? Maybe Coleco. I'm not sure. There's probably a bunch of different releases for it. And the cartridge is cool too. I mean, it's Activision. I mean, it gives you that cool looking cartridge. Doesn't look like your typical Intellivision cartridge. So you can always tell them apart when you see them on the shelf. Anyways, I hope you liked the video. Hope Billy O liked the video. I tried to play this game as best as I can. I'm not the best at space shooters. I always admit that. I'm never good at the space shooter games. I'm not always a big fan of the space shooter games. There's been a few that I've always liked, like Astro Smash. I used to love playing Space Armada. Things like that, Zaxxon. So I do play them. I've just never been a big fan of the space games. I'll still collect them and I'll still play them from time to time. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Hope Billy liked the video. And if anybody else is a patron of my show, always feel free to suggest what you would like me to do. And if I can make it happen, I will surely try. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.